Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. It's a deep dive into two products, sister products made by the same company, Meister. It's MeisterTasks and MyMeister. So we're going to take a look at both. It's going to be quite a fairly long webinar because I want to go through, everything. It's a deep dive, so we can really take a look at all the different features that are available and why you would use them. Most importantly, there's no point in me showing you and then you're having to second guess why you would use them. They're really effective tools for many students. In fact, they're effective tools for all students, but there are some features that are specifically useful if you have learning challenges, a disability that affects the way you learn or the way you organise yourself or the way your attitude towards your learning. Really does help with mental health as well as dyslexia, ADHD, chronic fatigue, anything to do with organising, that's a new word, organising, planning, learning, of course. So we're going to look at MyMeister first of all, and then move on to MeisterTasks. You can get them as a student individually, so you don't have to have both, or you can have them combined as a suite because they do work together, which you will see. So I'm going to make a start and show you all the benefits, the features and benefits of both products. Right, I will share my screen, and first things first is they are both web apps. You access them. Just share. You access them in your browser. The great thing about that is you can use them on a computer, any kind of computer, Chromebook, MacBook, Windows, a computer at university, a computer in the workplace, at a friend's house, anything that has a browser. I actually have my phone shared. Well, it's a bit black right now. Let's unlock it, see if it behaves itself. Oh, no, it's not. It's gone to sleep. It should wake up. I'll try and share it first. I'm going to just start off by sharing my phone screen, just because I wanted to start with explaining how you use it, where you use it, and it can be on your phone, and it's really great to be used on your phone because you've got it with you all the time, haven't you? And when it's a tool that helps with organising, that's important. Here we go. It's sorted now. Right, so I have, here we are. This is MindMeister. No, this is MeisterTasks. Oh, it will open. This is MeisterTasks on my phone. I've already logged in. I was just logged in this then. Hopefully it'll just log me in now. You use it as an app on your phone just because the layout works better. If you use the app, you could go into your browser, your Chrome browser, and log in there, but it just, the way everything's laid out won't be as good as if you use the dedicated app. So that's MyMeister. That's not, it's MeisterTasks, and then we've got MyMeister as well. Hopefully that's not unlocked. We can see it's smaller. Yes, there we go. So it's showing my different projects. So you can use it on your phone. Probably more effective as a reference guide on your phone, just because the screen's small. Creating a mind map while you're on your phone might be a bit more challenging than on a computer, but it's available there. You can check on things. You can add a task in MeisterTasks while you're on the go. So I just thought I'll share that just to remind you that, yes, it's a web app. It can be used on any device, including your phone or an iPad. Right, we will get started with taking a look at MindMeister. It's mind mapping. Right, so this is the homepage that you're looking at right now. I've been using MindMeister for quite some time, so I have lots of different mind maps. When you first use it, of course, you're not going to have any. It's going to be empty there. If I go on home, actually, they would just show my maps. I've got my recent maps going down the screen, and then I've got some templates along the top which helps you create your mind maps. When you're starting from scratch, you can choose how you want the mind map to be, what sort of style, whether it's organisation chart or just a general mind map or a list. All kinds. You can click on all templates and that will show you what there is to offer. So you can go into different topics and take a look if there's something there that's already the structure you want. You don't have to, you can just start a blank mind map if you want to, just use it blank and it'd be just a standard mind map, pretty much like the one it's showing next to it, mind map. There is also a universe, a public MindMeister universe. That's where people have created wonderful mind maps, all different topics, all different areas, and they have shared them with the public. Meister do check them out. They make sure they are good quality, and then they'll add them. So I just click on here, access the universe, and then you can have a look at the universe to see if there's something good that's already been created that maybe is already the topic you want to create your mind map of. So I've just got in education, so you've got a Luke Skywalker mind map there, and well, English grammar, tenses, all kinds. So you can search for something there just in case there's something created already. You don't have to do it, and you can usually, most of them, you can usually copy the map, like duplicate it and use it yourself and edit it. Occasionally you can't, but most of them, yeah, you can do that. So that saves a lot of time if there's something there already to use. If you are a trainer, you might want to download a few just for examples to show the students when you're having your training time with them and you want to give them some ideas of how it can be used. You could download some there. That's what I've done for when I do demonstrations. So it's a useful place, the Meister Universe. In fact, I would just copy the URL and put it into the chat so that you can also easily access it. I'll just paste it. There we are. So you might want to put that in your bookmarks, maybe, so that you've got access easily to that too. Talking of bookmarks, I do save all the web apps that I demonstrate or I use in my bookmarks bar. I think it's really useful when it's a web app, because unlike software that you have a shortcut anyway on your desktop, you don't get that automatically with a web app, and it's easy to forget you've got it. So I've got a whole folder of web apps there, and that's where my Meister and Meister Universe are located for easy access for me. I've got iView and TextAid and ScanMarker, Wellbe, Pro Study, it still says Pro Revise. I need to rename that, don't I, to to Learnable. So yeah, I've got them all in a folder. I find that a really useful way of keeping them all together and getting logged in really quickly there. Right, let's go back into MindMeister. And what I want to do is go back to that home page. Where are we? Here we go. I've got loads of mind maps, but what I want to do is just show you right from the start. You want to create a mind map. What do you do, and what can you do in the mind map, and why would you do that? For what task would you be doing that for? So I'm going to just click on blank map, and it's going to open a tab with my new mind map. So I'm ready to start a map. So they can be used, mind maps can be used for so many different areas of learning and studying, and even social life, organising. It's all about organising and seeing content in a very visual way. That is why it's really useful for people who do learn visually. They like to see pictures and colour coding and things like that. So especially students who are dyslexic, a whole page of text is not going to be a very useful resource for them to learn from, but a mind map is going to be a bit more useful. Also, students who they feel overwhelmed with lots and lots of information, you can hide bits. So that's a useful tool for students who are overwhelmed with things, if there's too much information going on the screen. Right, it's very, very easy to use, and I think it looks very attractive, the maps as well. It's a bit iPhone sort of style, I think, just the style of everything. So to give a title to your map, you just double click on the central bit. I'm going to just call it Mary's example map. So just type away. If I press enter, it comes up with a toolbar. I can just click on it to bring that toolbar up as well. This is a toolbar that allows you to change the way that looks, that little bit of your mind map, what it looks like, and if you can add stuff to that as well. So if I thought, well, I don't actually want the writing to look like that, I click on the A, which is the text style. I can choose the size of it. So maybe I want it smaller. Maybe I want a different style. What shall I go? I'll go for just the standard one. I quite like that. Bold it, italic it, change the colour. There we are. We'll go for green. There's custom colours too. You can have it whatever colour you want there. The paintbrush, that allows you to change the colour inside it, the border and the lines that go from it, what colour they are and what sort of style. So if I wanted a cloud style, I can click on that. I can go on the colour of the border. Maybe I'll go purple, maybe I want that thicker. So as you can see, it's super easy to just customize it. It's really easy to work out. You don't have to like follow an instruction manual or anything. You could probably have worked that out without me saying anything, but I have shown you. So yeah, choose how you want it. That's a bit of a weird one there. It just goes for a solid line there. So that's how you change the way that idea looks. So if I just go on shape, actually I'll make it a different colour inside as well. Ooh, I'm not sure about that combination. Ooh, green and yellow. I know a song, green and yellow. Right, I'm going to go, I'll just go for grey with green. Okay, right, so that's how you change the colour, the background colour, the shape of that idea, that bit of your mind map. So they're the two buttons there. Auto align, just you've got it set to being either a mind map or like a list. If you unclick auto align, you can move them around, but it makes the map look like a little bit messy. But you may want to have the ability to move things to different places. So you can choose, and that's how you change that to auto align. Right, add a link. So I will add an extra idea first, and then we'll add a link to that next thing. So I'm going to click on tab on my keyboard, and that's adding a new idea. This is a new idea. Press enter. There we are. I wanted to add another one to that, just to tab and another tab. Okay, so you can just do tab and type to quickly get some ideas. Go one to the other, one to the other, one to the other, like that. If I click on the first idea and press tab, it's going to add another branch, there, a sibling branch. So you type there. Right, so that's how you quickly create a map by just using tab key, and adding ideas. So you may want to add some extra content to your mind map. You might not want it to be just some words on the page to organise your ideas. You might do if you're thinking of, what is it? I already know about the Romans. Let's get it all on the page quickly. You do that. You could use Dragon. If you didn't want to type, you could click and speak using Dragon. That works as long as you've got Dragon on your computer, of course. But if you don't want to type, you can speak. Right. So if you want to add some content, so maybe this is a plan for writing an essay, and you actually want to add all the stuff that you need to read for the essay, and you actually want to start writing your essay within this mind map, you can do all of it using the little tools. So we've got link, so you can add a URL. So I could add, if I go on website, I'll add a link to this Wikipedia page there. Now I've added a link. You see, there's a little icon to show. There's a link there within the that idea, that branch of my mind map. If you also wanted to add some visuals to help you see within the mind map different things, because you're a visual learner, you like adding things, you could add some media. That could be a video even that you need to watch to prepare for your essay, or it could be an image. You can add an icon as well. Let's go into icons first. So we've got all kinds. You can search for it. I'll put a tree. I wonder if there's a tree. Yeah. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, I thought that would be an easy one. Okay, hand. Okay, shaking hands, I'll add that. There we go. And because I'd set it to be purple, that's why it's purple. You can change the colour. So you could have, there we are. I just clicked on it then. I could change it to be a different colour if I wanted to. If you didn't want an icon, you wanted an actual picture, you just click Add Media. Then it just takes you to downloads or your gallery in your on your computer, and then you can add an image there. It does replace the icon. You can't have an icon and an image. You choose, but I just added an image there. If you want to make that smaller or bigger, just go on the corner that pops up, the blue corner, and just drag it to alter the size of the image. And like I said earlier, it could be a video if you want to. I've actually got a video of all the Aventino products, all the videos in there. It's very visual. It's like, I quite like it like that, because I don't like a full page of writing. So it's a nice thing for me at being able to add images and videos. You can also, I'll just click on to another idea to add something else. You can also add an attachment. So maybe you've got an article that's a PDF and it's on your computer, and you want to link to it so that while you're preparing, you can quickly click on that and it opens. You can read it. Maybe then you want to make some notes, and then you could add the notes to your mind map in preparation for writing an essay, or also for revision. It's a really powerful tool for revision as well. So is MeisterSuite, which I'll show you an example of using it for revision later on. Right, so all you do to add an attachment, and it can be an attachment of anything, like Word document. It can be like a PowerPoint presentation, maybe lecture slides, something like that, or a PDF, just something a document that's on your computer you want to upload. You just upload the file, and then it's added. I could randomly add something. The downloads. I could just add that's a Word document, and it always shows you a little icon so you can easily see what's in your mind map, like if it is attachments and things like that. So that's a useful tool too. And yeah, we're nearly along with all these tools, but it's so easy to use. It's not going to be complicated. I don't think you're going to forget exactly what they do. It's just making you aware, really, and why you might be using them. Right, this Add Note is a really, really useful tool, I think. The reason it's particularly useful is you can add a note to each section, each branch of your mind map, but this could be actually the content of an essay. And then when the mind map is downloaded, all of those notes will be in order, so clockwise order, and then the essay is pretty much finished. You can just do a little bit of editing and then it's ready to hand in. So you can, I think it's less overwhelming to write an essay if you're doing it in little sections, and you can do that if you're using it within mind map. So this is an essay about memory. I will look at all kinds. So you can type there, you can format it to a certain extent, you can add bullet points, you could put code in. If you were studying coding at uni, you could have a mind map with different codes in, which would be useful as a reference, like a reference mind map using the code. I don't know how to code, so I'm not going to attempt to type some, but you can you can in this. And then it saves, it's saving all the time. You don't have to worry about saving anything, and you also don't have to worry about putting something in the wrong place, because you can move things around as well within a mind map. So if you were using a mind map as in a piece of paper and just drawing one yourself, then you're stuck with where it is. But because we're doing it online, you can move it. So if I thought, and I don't want that there, I want it just here, you can just click and drag, and then it is it's put in a different place. And you can tell where it's going to go, because as you move it, do you see it's sort of showing where it's going to be placed in grey. So you just move it along to where you want it there. So right, let's talk about the structure, the way the whole map looks. That's what the right hand side buttons are for. If you wanted a page which has multiple mind maps on, so you don't want it just one and then branching off, you want them dotted around the screen, and it can be an endless screen. You can just scroll it in, zoom in and out, and move around your mind maps. It could be multiple. Click on the little add, and it adds a new floating topic. It's called "This is another mind map." And you can then place that anywhere on the screen, so you can just move that around, and then you've got two on one page there. So that's how you can add another mind map within your screen, within your sort of project, Mary's example map. It's still called Mary's example map, it could be multiple. And then the button underneath is all about layout. Now this will be referring to the one that you've got highlighted. So if I wanted to alter the layout of "This is another mind map," this bit, make sure that's clicked once, and then if I click on that, I can say, oh, I want this to be a list. So let's have a look at how that is different. I'm going to press tab, and idea, tab, another idea, tab, and this too. Do you see how it's going one underneath the other? That's because I chose list, whereas the other one, that is as a mind map. So you can have mind map, central idea going around like a spider's web, organisation tool, current first idea, and then the ideas go underneath in a line, or a list like I've just done. So that's how you change the layout. You just need to make sure that you've selected the bit that you're talking about, because you can within a mind map make another bit a different style. So if I wanted another idea to actually be different, I can alter that, so it goes current ideas going across maybe, and then lists. That was one thing when I first started using mind map I didn't realize, so it's maybe a handy tip for you too, because it's mostly very obvious, but I wasn't sure about changing the layout, and that's how it is. I just hadn't had it selected. I just didn't realise. I thought it would just do all of it, every mind map on the screen, change the layout, but it's not. But you can't, because it's greyed out, do you see? So you need to click on it. Oh, I clicked back then. Oh dear. Here we are. No problem, it's all saved. Here we are, we're back. Right, that's a good example of how it does save, and you can just bring it back if you accidentally close it. Right, so yeah, that's changing the layout. So add a new mind map, change the layout. The third one is the themes. So this is the overall theme of this whole entire page. So if I click on the colour, the flower, I can scroll through, and as I click, it will change the theme to the different styles. So I like the default one best, I think, myself, but you can choose them there, and then there's a simple undo and redo button underneath. So if you've done something, you think, oh, I didn't want to do it, you can do Control and X, not X, Control and Z to undo, just like you usually can on lots of things on a computer, but there is an undo button there if you want to. Oh, Andrew points out that mind maps are really useful for neurodivergent students. I totally agree, Andrew. Yeah, it really does help with thinking and learning and organising, and typical challenges that neurodivergent students and people have. It's just a total organisation, I think. So I know some people mind maps don't work for them, but I don't know whether it's just that they've not investigated it so much, because they're useful. They are. Instead of looking at my startup mind map now I've gone through the key tools to change the way it looks. That's the main thing, and adding things. So I've shown you everything that can be added, apart from actually 2 things. You can add comments. The reason you might want to add comments is if you work collaboratively, because it's an online tool, you can work with another person, and that other person doesn't have to have a license for MindMeister to use it. You just use their link. So if I want to share it, we could try this. I don't know if you'll be willing to add something, but I'm going to share. I'm going to put contributor. I'm going to copy the link. So click share. I'm the content manager, and I've gone contributor, copy a link. And now if I put that into the chat, you will now have access to this mind map, and you'll be able to click and add things. So you could add anything. I don't mind. I'm not precious about this particular mind map. We can always delete it afterwards. If you wanted to add a comment about something, you just click on the bit that you want to add a comment and click on the speech bubble, and you can add a comment there. And it shows a second ago I've added a comment there. So, and there's a little icon, as always with all this. If you've added something to a particular section, you can add there. Now, and the other thing you can do is add a task. I will show you that right at the end of the MindMeister bit, just because it's a great segue, a great seamless movement from MindMeister to MeisterTask, because this button adds a task into your projects in MeisterTask. So I will leave that for a moment, because I just want to show you some examples of mind maps, because I think that might be really useful. Some examples of when you might be using it as a student, or in the workplace. It's very effective for that too. So if I move away from this, you still can add little comments using that link if you fancy adding that there, or you can just to investigate for yourself. Instant access to MindMeister. Right, let's move on to another tab. Right, what we're looking at now is the mind map I use for demonstrating what MindMeister is. It's got 2 maps in one. I've got one that's like a mind map, the other is more like a list. The core features is like a list there. We'll have a look now at the bottom left tools, and then we will look at some examples. So the bottom left is also to do with how the map looks. You can zoom in and out. So if I click, it will zoom in and out, so you can see more or less of the mind map. There's focus mode, which focuses on from, like, you can just see from the middle. And then there is the center of the map. So if you've gone moving all the way far away from the middle, you can just click on center map and it will move it back. It is worth noting out the tools to change, change the way it is and the layout and everything. They do disappear when you start clicking the buttons. Buttons at the bottom, so that's something to bear in mind. You just need to click on them again to bring it back. Look, it's back again there. So yeah, don't panic if it disappeared, just click on it again and it will appear again there. And then if I click on outline, it actually takes the mind map away, and then you can see it as a list. That might be useful for if you're trying to find something in the mind map and you can't see it very easily, or you just want to have a quick look and very easily see which bits have attachments on, or the general structure, especially if you're writing an essay. Maybe you'd want to see the structure of the mind map in a list. So there is that option. It's the bottom left button, and to get it back to Mind map, you just click on the little icon that's like a mind map. So you just click there to take a look at that. I've already talked a little bit about how mind mapping can help. It really does help with, especially overwhelm. You feel, I can't even make a start on this essay. I don't know anything about the topic. I don't know how to structure it. If you just share your ideas from your head, just the basic ideas, you've already got a structure to your essay if you just quickly put them into a mind map. So it's great for overwhelm and general like anxiety about doing work, writing essays, revision, and all things like that. It's very visual. I've already said that. It's non-linear unless you put the outline out, but it's non-linear. You can move things around. If you have difficulty with sequencing or seeing the big picture and the details, it's useful for that. It really helps with focus and creative thinking, which many neurodivergent people are incredibly creative and wonderful at problem solving and things, and seeing it in a visual way on a mind map really does help. Yeah, brainstorming ideas as well. Just having a brain dump of everything you know actually makes you realize you do know more than you think. So it can help because of that, because of it being approaching in so many different ways. It really helps with most areas of study, I'd say. It's going to help you with writing and reviewing your academic work. You know, you can have one which has all the content that you've got to read or take a look at for like a literature review, something like that. It's going to help you with your essay planning, as in making sure that you're prepared for it by having all the content in one place. It's going to be useful for using your notes from lectures to structure it so that you can look back on them very easily, and especially if you've added visuals. So it's going to help with learning, isn't it? Definitely going to help with your time management and organisation, because you can see things so visually, especially if you pair it up with adding tasks as well with MeisterSuite. Really does help with exam preparation. You can have different topics. I've got an excellent example actually. Let's take a look at that. So we've got a mind map that someone created for their finals. Now I am really pleased that I am not the person doing these final exams, because there's a lot of content, but you can see how it would have helped this person make sure that they've covered and revised for all the different things. Well, so they've just got it very boring in the middle finals revision, but they've used those add a floating topics to a large extent. Let's zoom out and then you can see what it is like. So it's got loads of different topics. They've color coded it. I expect it's color coded as in depending on whether they've done some revision on those different bits. It's a lot of text going on. They've not used pictures, but it's worked for them. And you can zoom into different bits and take a look at the details rather than the overview. So that is a wonderful example of using it for revision there. So we will just close that, because I like that as an example of using it in that way for revision. Yeah, I have got an example of planning where I've been making text aid videos for schools, and there were so many different bits. So the mind map really helped be able to see which I had and hadn't done. I added the video links to it so it's all in one place, and then I can share that mind map with schools so they can look and see easily and watch the videos. And you can use it for presentations. There's a presentation button at the top. So the top right is where you share mind maps, like I did earlier with the link. You can also download or export the mind map. That can be exported. If I just click on here, you can see. So you can print it, or you can export it as a PDF, an image, Word file, PowerPoint, or a rich text. With a PowerPoint, each section is a slide, so it's really structured nicely. In Word, it's like that outline mode, but it's got all the content from the notes that you've put in as well. PDF and image are very much as you would expect them. It does still show the content that you've got in each bit, but it shows what shows this mind map as an image there. So that's what the cloud button is, that's export. But I wanted to show you present. Present does just that. It zooms into each section of the mind map and it goes round in clockwise direction. So as I use the arrow button, it moves to the different bits of the mind map. If you didn't want it to go through all of it because you think, no, I just wanted the outline, I didn't want to go into every single little bit, I'm going to click escape to come out of that. I can minimize it. So minimizing bits, you click on the circle, so then it hides those bits and make it a much more simplified mind map. So now if I go on presentation, it will just go through the bits that you can see. There's been a question, is there a feature to focus on one specific branch? I guess you could focus on one specific branch by just zooming in and being in that little section. I would say that's the way to do it. Or you could, if you thought, oh, this is turning out to be a mind map where I want this as like a separate thing, really. You can actually create it as a separate mind map. Where's the button? Create as map. You see? Now just all I did for that. So if I wanted core features to be actually a separate mind map, not within this one, separate, click on the main bit, the new floating topic. Click on the little dots. And then click create as map, and then it will open it in a new tab and it'll be a separate thing. Hopefully that's answered your question. Good question though. Yeah, really, really interesting question there. So yeah, you can do that, do it separate. Yeah, so you can export, you can present, and you can share the maps. So that is an overview of MindMeister, mind mapping. You can make loads. Can you bulk shrink them? Oh, I don't think you can. Been asked, can you bulk shrink? So if I've got them all open, yeah, because it might take a while if it's a big mind map. Yes. I wonder if I click on the little dots there. Show well, you'd think it's the opposite. Oh, right. Show detail, 1 level, 2 levels, and all. I'm liking these questions, Anna, because it's made me think. And yes, the answer is yes. So if I, so 1 level, look, yes, it's minimized it. Oh, I'm really pleased. I know that too now. Brilliant. Yeah, so you can. So to bulk, can like close all the details. You only want it to 1 branch out. Or 2 branches, yeah, click on the little dots and it's the show detail bit. That's where you do that. There. Good. Right, so definitely it would definitely reduce overwhelm, because yeah, if you've got a busy mind map, you know, like that revision, like finals revision one, whoa, it's overwhelming. You can hide the bits, and so then you've got just the structure, and then you think, oh no, I can do this is doable, I've only got 5 topics to learn, and then you can go in very gradually, little steps of going into each bit and learning those different bits. So yeah, certainly reduces overwhelm. Right, I'm now gonna move over to MeisterTasks, and I'm going to do that by adding a task to my mind map to show you how they can work together. So I've clicked on the little bit where it says how can mind mapping strategies help individuals, and I'm going to click on the tick. When I do that, I've got to choose a project. I'll show you in a moment the homepage for MeisterTasks and what it looks like with the projects. I've got loads of projects because I use this for my work personally, not just showing demonstrations. We use it for different events like Innovate 2024, for example. So I do use it myself. So if I'm going to just type task. Right, weekly task planner. I'm going to add a task into there, and it's going to be in the column which is weekly tasks. And I'm going to put Monday's webinar planning. I'm a bit late for that, aren't I? So I've given my title, my task a title. I can add a due date. That's really important for me because I won't get things done if I didn't. If I did, I will do it at 12 o'clock. If I didn't give a date, I wouldn't actually do it. Oh, I've clicked away. Goodness. Right, due date. I'm going to go today. There we are. And assigned to, that's just if you, there's more of a workplace thing. If you're working as part of a team, which I am, and that's why it's there. If it was an individual license, that wouldn't be there. But I can work with other people, other colleagues, so I could put their name in and give them the task to do instead of me. And it would email them to say, Mary has assigned you this task. I'm not going to do that though. And then I'm going to click create task. If you've already got tasks going on in your project and you want to link them, you can just find it and link them together there. So if I click create task, it's now put that date in my mind map to show there is a task there. Okay, right, let's move over to MeisterSuite. You can do that. I've already got it open in a tab, but you can just click the top right because it's a sister company. You can click on your face and then go to MeisterSuite there, that way. Yes, they don't, they don't always get my Meister and MeisterSuite students because they can have them separately. If they only need my mind mapping, they will only get mind mapping. They don't have to have MeisterSuite, which is great because you don't want to just give a student something that they don't actually need. So it's protecting the public purse, isn't it, if they're not being given too much AT, which also is overwhelming, unless it's going to be really useful. For the students who do struggle with organisation, I would say that having both is really, really important because they work so well together. It's great. Right, let's go to MeisterSuite. Take a look at that. And I'm just going to close the others just because we don't need those. We've done that. So this is my MeisterSuite home page. I've made it quite dark. First thing is, you can really customize it. If I click on customize, I can choose, I can add picture, I can have a nice picture of trees in the background if I want, or I can have, you can just pick and choose. You can add your own photo in the background, or you can just go for a colour. Well, maybe I should go for more of blue MeisterSuite. That might be what it's default on actually, but I quite like it, quite like that blue. Right, so you can customize it, first of all, your home page. There's quite a lot going on that page. That's just because I've got lots of projects in my MeisterSuite. It won't be like that when you first log in because you won't have any projects unless someone shared something with you. So we've got a tasks section, a project section, and my checklist, and then on the right hand side you've got notifications. Now the notifications, that will be, there's nothing in mine because I've read them all. I've just got it set to only see things that I've not read, so unread. If I didn't, it would be, lots going on there, but I've just got those hidden. And you can have it to see projects or notes mentioned, so the different sections there. And the tasks, this is showing all the tasks in all of my projects. So it's taking every task from everything and putting them all on the home page there. And then the projects, I've chosen which ones to be visible there. I did that by clicking on where it says 4 there. It would say 0 at first. So if I click on there, I've just ticked the ones I want to see because there are loads. Look at all the projects I've got. I don't want to be overwhelmed with all of those. And maybe if you're a student, you only want to see the ones that you're currently working on. You're working on your essay about the history of architecture, and you're also doing your revision of statistics. You only want your projects that you're working on, so you can pick and choose what you see on the home page there. And then the bottom one, my checklist, this is a totally separate section. It's not looking at any information at all in any of your projects. This is just a little area. You can add random things that you don't know where to put because they don't really belong in any of the projects, but you still want to have them in your MeisterTask to check off. So you can just add an item here. So you can just add there, press enter, and it adds it. And then when you've done it, you just click tick there. So that is like a separate section when you don't know where to put it. If you know that some task or some information somewhere in one of your projects, you can search for it in the search bar, and it will locate where that is in your projects there. Next, we're in home. Search is the search bit. I'm next going to go and take a look at projects, and we're going to have a look at what it's like creating a project and why you would do that. And like with MindMeister, I'll show you some examples of what I've created because I think there's so many ways you can use MeisterTasks to help with many areas of study, just like MindMeister really. But it's all about being organizing yourself. But because of that, you get what you put in. If you don't put any content into your projects, then it's not going to be an effective tool for you. You've really got to put in the things, and then you're super organized. Yes, there's an excellent question. Is there a MindMeister mobile assistant? Yes, there is. It is an app. Both MeisterTask and MindMeister can be used on a phone or an iPad, but you go to the Play Store or the iStore and download the app. The only reason you do that rather than going in your browser is it's laid out in a better way, more suitable for phones and tablets compared to computers. So yes, you can use it definitely on your phone. Yes, great question. So I have a few projects on the go. So I've got my projects, and then I've got other projects as well. So I've got loads going on with mine. I'm gonna go into the weekly. Oh, well, there it is. I could have started at the top as well. Let's go into a weekly planner, because this is one way it could be used. You can have the weekly tasks on the left hand side, then the days of the week, and then the student just can add a task. Revise for exam, and then you can just type in just plain text, and then that's something you're going to do this week. Move it to Monday. Then if you don't get it done on Monday, you can go to Tuesday, and so on. That's a very, very basic way of doing it, but still really effective for organising it and seeing it visually. And within the task I've written, I've just done plain text. That's maybe all you need for some projects, or it may be you want to add loads of content into that too. So let's take a look at a different project to see an example of other things. If I go into my MeisterTask demo, this shows all the different things you can do. You can add as many of these Kanban, these swim lanes, as you want. So you can change the color of them. That's why they are different colors, and you can give them different titles and different icons. To do that, you just click on the little 3 dots at the top, and so you can reorder the tasks. You can if you do collapse for me, look, it hides that bit. So if you've got loads going on, you don't have to see that. I find that really useful when we've got all our events in a MeisterTask project. Well, when that month has gone, I don't need to see, like next week, I won't need to see January because it's been done. But I don't want it to be deleted, so I can just collapse it so I don't have to look at it. It still shows a number 9. That's a number of tasks that are associated with this. You may be thinking, but that's not 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. So why does it say 9? The reason is it's within one of these. are other tasks. I think it's this one. Let's have a look. Yes, I'm right. So within a task, you can add subtasks. And you can, yes, you can repeat a task as well. Yes, you can duplicate it. So you can add a subtask and you can duplicate it with maybe a different due date, maybe. So you can duplicate a whole project if you want to. So I do that sometimes if we're doing an event project and I want the same tasks but for a different event. I duplicate it. So that's useful too. Yeah. I'm liking these questions today. They're very useful for me. So yeah, you can add a subtask, and within that subtask, you can add various information, add attachments, add a checklist. Ooh, you could even add a subtask to a subtask. That would make it complicated, wouldn't it? And then you can add some content. You can always add notes and things into a task as well. So that's why the number 9, it says number 9, as in number of tasks, but you couldn't see that many. It's because there's subtasks within there. Okay, right, if you wanted, this was a really important task, you could pin it now, but pinning is not what you think it would be. To me, adding a pin means it's going to be taken to the top of that task list. That's what you'd think, but no, it takes you to a centralized overview of all your projects, and in that centralized overview you've got some columns: focus, to reply, upcoming, waiting for, and completed. You can customize these so it doesn't say that, but if you do that, if I click on focus, it's pinned it to focus, and now if I click on manage, it's going to open this. So this is the tasks section, which shows everything from all projects. That's why I think you can do many different projects for each thing you want to do at uni or work, wherever you're studying, because they can all be shown in one place anyway, if you want to, and in the different columns there. So that's what that pin is. Slightly different to what I thought it would have been. So that's why it's worth pointing out. To get to that, if you're thinking, well, how do you get to that anyway? To have a look, it's the tasks button on the left-hand side. That's how you get to it. Right, let's go back into the one that we were looking at, the MeisterSuite demo. Yeah, so if I wanted to repeat a task, so meeting information read, that's random words, I can click on the little dots there and look, duplicate. So I've now duplicated it. Look, it's added there. You can move these around, so you can reorder. So you can just click and drag and move them around. So now I've got 2 with the same. You might want to alter something about those. To move them into a different column, you just click and drag. Click and drag. There we go. Other things you can add are dates, of course, which I did at the very beginning. I added a date. These dates can be added to your calendar. I've got them added to my Google Calendar. So if I look, I'm going to just bring on my calendar. This is my Google Calendar. I have closed all my other calendars, so it's only showing my MeisterSuite. Look, my MeisterSuite calendar is there. It's showing what tasks I have to do on the different days. So they appear there. Really useful. So it's paired up with there. It really does help me make sure that I get my things done. So because they're added. How do you add them to the calendar? Right, I shall show you that. So yeah, so you've got you put dates in, and you want them to be seen visible on your calendar. So you click on your name at the top right, and you go on integrations. You just have to do this once. This is not something you do or every time you create a project. So it says MeisterSuite integrates with your favorite tools. So I can go Google Calendar. I've already done this, so it's going to say, look, disconnect. I don't want it to disconnect, else they won't appear. So yeah, you just connect it there, and then those will appear in your calendar. So that's how you would do that. There are some other preferences. This is in like deep down into your personal settings. There's appearance of things. You can make it so that the subtasks are shown individually in the tab in the swim lanes rather than within another task. You can choose that, and that's where you would you choose those settings too. I'm just going to close that now, and hopefully it'll just take me back. Here you go. I'll close my calendar because I don't need to show you that anymore. So yeah, so that is where you sort of change the main settings and integrations. I only showed you the calendar. There are other integrations that you can do as well, and other things you can do as well to do with sort of making it slightly more complicated but very effective is adding automations. So you can make it so that when you do something, it automatically does something else. The particular one I like is when you move it into one of the swim lanes, it automatically completes your task. So if I go on the little dots at the top right of one of the swim lanes, it's not there. What's wrong with it? Well, I don't know why this is not working. Complete all tasks. Well, you can do that. You can bulk complete all tasks, but I don't know why the automation's not showing up. Maybe I'll go into a different one because that's very strange. Right, I will go into a different project. For some reason, it's not showing on that. Right, I will go into MacMock. This is my son's actual MeisterTask project. When he was doing his mocks in November, he used it to make sure that he had planned his revision effectively. So he chose, for each subject, he added subtasks, so the different topics within there. He put deadlines for doing it, and he also added tags. Now, I've not spoken about tags yet, so that's worthwhile mentioning. Tags is you can, for each task, add a tag. He has done it so that he's got a tag to indicate how confident he is with that little bit of the topic. So it's very visual. You can see where the greens or the reds is, so you can really see an overview very effectively with the colours. You can also use it if this one project is for multiple essays, and then you can add tags and then filter the tags so you can just see the ones that are relevant for a particular topic or something like that. To do that, if you wanted to add a tag, well, you just add a tag very easily. You just go on the tags and select a tag, and then it shows up in there, showing German now. And then if you want to see only specific tags, you go over to the right hand side. So we've got filter. So I just want to filter just the ones that have tagged with good. So I clicked on that. I now can only see the ones that are good. You can also filter in many other ways, with a due date of a particular thing, with the status of a particular thing. Watch by is not relevant unless you're working as a team. So that you can filter. You can filter there. And Mackenzie, my son, he is of course a contributor to this project because it's for his revision. So yeah, you can add things like that. Now, the other project we were looking at, I don't know why, but automations was not there, and I wanted to show you it, didn't I? So I can show you it in here. So I clicked on the little dots, and I don't know why the other project didn't show it, but there's an automations tab. This is where you can add an automation. No surprise. This is where I wanted to make it so if you move something into that column, it completes. I can go on update status, like when a task is added, do a little more revision, put it as completed, done. So then if I move something into there, look, automatically completed. Okay, I'll move it out. You can uncomplete it. You can convert. Ooh, you can make it so it's not. Oh, it's archived. I must have added another automation there. Restore. There we go. So now it's not. If you complete it, there's a little pat on the back. If you do click complete task, look, there's a rocket that zooms up the screen to say, well done, you've completed that task. Within the tasks, I have talked about adding tags. I've talked about adding a bit of notes. You can, just like with MeisterTasks, but with MindMeister, you can also add other things, like you can add an attachment there. So you can click on that. You can add a node. You can add a link to a mind map if you wanted, something in your Google Drive or something, or upload something there as well. So you can add loads of content all within a project. So it's all in one place. I like to do that quite often when I'm planning an event, and to make sure I've got all the things. I have a packing list, I have the address of where I'm going, all the content all in one place. And of course you can do that for all different things when you're studying, like revision, writing an essay, just completing a module or lecture information, things like that. You can put it all in one place. Now there is notes. MeisterNotes is actually a separate product, but it works in a similar way as when you add a note within a little task. You can add a note, or you can use MeisterNotes. I've not got a lot going on in here, but I'll just click on it so you can see what's there. So I've got a few things, and within the notes you can write notes, of course, but then you can, if I click add, I'll just do a new one, note. You give it a title, but then within there you can add tasks, you can assign things to other people, you can add links to upload to pages, websites, upload documents. And so it's an effective way of making notes for a meeting, or for just generally notes for an essay you're writing, or something like that. So that's just a little mention of MeisterNotes. It's just something there, but it's a simple thing to do, doesn't need a lot of explanation. It can integrate within your MindMeister and MeisterTasks. Now, just waiting for it to load back up again. I have run over a little bit, so I think I've pretty much covered what MeisterTasks is and what MindMeister is.